There is a moment in this dashcam footage where you see a yellow school bus barrel through a cornfield at highway speed, with a dozen police cars in pursuit and a helicopter overhead. And you think, how did we get here? The answer starts with one man, one stolen bus, and about 45 seconds of opportunity. May 30th, 2023, Cincinnati, Ohio, Grand Avenue near Westwood Avenue. A bus driver for the school district is previewing a summer route. Standard stuff. He knows the roads, he knows the stops, and he steps off the bus for a moment to check something. Just a moment. The bus is running. The keys are in it. He is a few feet away. Chad Murdock is 32 years old, and Chad Murdock gets on the bus. Now, when people steal vehicles to run from police, they typically choose something fast, something maneuverable, a sedan, a sports car, something low profile that gives you options when the lights come on behind you, something that doesn't announce itself from half a mile away. Chad Murdock stole a school bus. A yellow 2001 school bus, the kind with the stop sign that swings out on the side, the kind that does 60 miles an hour on a good day with a tailwind, the kind that weighs 14,000 pounds and handles like a shopping cart on ice, the kind that is, without question, the single least subtle vehicle in the continental United States.
Southbound 420, back up towards 421.
And at 10:15 in the morning on a Tuesday, he pointed it west on Interstate 74 and drove. Cincinnati police got the call almost immediately. They responded, and so began one of the most genuinely unhinged pursuits in the history of American law enforcement dashcam footage. Let us establish something before we get into the chase itself. Chad Murdock did not have a plan. Whatever was going through his mind when he stepped onto that bus, it was not a coherent exit strategy. You do not flee police in a stolen school bus as part of a plan. You flee police in a stolen school bus because something has gone profoundly wrong in your decision-making process, and you have committed to it before your brain had a chance to weigh in. The dashcam footage picks up with the chase already underway on I-74. What you are looking at is a full-size school bus. Bright yellow, impossible to miss from any angle, visible from orbit, with 5 police vehicles in immediate pursuit and more joining by the minute. The bus is not subtle. It is not fast. It is not maneuverable. It cannot change lanes quickly. It cannot brake quickly. It cannot do much of anything quickly. And it is running.
40, heading up on 700, just get the intersection soon of 700 and 240 Northwest.
Murdock is pushing that bus as hard as it will go, weaving between lanes on I-74 with the confidence of a man who has apparently decided that today is the day. Officers attempt to pull alongside. He cuts them off. Ohio State Highway Patrol joins. more Cincinnati units. The pursuit grows. And the bus, that enormous bright yellow, completely unavoidable school bus, keeps going.
Back westbound 11 south.
Clear westbound 1130 now.
At one point, the bus hits a curb. It rocks violently to one side. The dashcam catches the moment you think it is going to tip. It would have been a disaster. A 14,000-pound bus rolling onto a highway at speed. It does not tip. It sways. It stabilizes. And Murdock keeps driving. Officers deploy spike strips. Murdock sees them and does something that requires a moment of genuine respect for the commitment. Even while the plan itself remains deeply stupid, he steers the bus off the pavement, off the highway, onto the shoulder, then into whatever is beyond the shoulder. The pursuit crosses the state line from Ohio into Indiana. This is now a multi-state chase. It has been going for nearly 20 minutes. The bus is still moving. Murdock shows no intention of stopping. Indiana State Police enter the chase. Decatur County Sheriff's deputies join. Batesville Police, Greensburg Police. By the time this pursuit reaches its peak, over a dozen law enforcement vehicles from multiple agencies in 2 states are in pursuit of one man in a yellow school bus. Law enforcement resources that would normally cover an entire county are now dedicated to a single 2001 school bus on Interstate 74. Think about what the radio traffic sounded like that morning.
Vehicle theft that occurred 10 minutes ago at 2335 Grandview. Yellow school bus was stolen, and the GPS is showing it on 74, possibly near Montana, over District 3 area.
The spike strips come out again, and again. Murdock sees them in time and does the only thing available to him. He drives off the highway entirely. The bus leaves the pavement. Again.
Clear on State Road 9, approaching 100 south.
Just south of that intersection.
And now you have dashcam footage of a school bus driving through Indiana cornfields. Actual cornfields. At speed, the bus is not designed for cornfields. The cornfields do not accommodate the bus. Neither of these things stops the bus. Murdock drives through yards, through fields, through fences, through whatever Indiana agriculture has placed between him and the next stretch of road. Several police vehicles attempt to follow into the terrain. Most cannot keep up with a school bus in a cornfield, which is a sentence that has probably never been written before. But the helicopter can track him. The aerial camera follows the bus through every field, every yard, every improvised off-road excursion. And what the dashcam captures when officers eventually get back ahead of Murdock is something that looks like a film set. A yellow school bus emerging from a cornfield trailing debris, running on tires that have been destroyed by the spike strips that finally made contact, limping toward whatever comes next. What comes next is the end. At approximately 11:15 in the morning in Shelby County, Indiana, about 30 minutes outside Indianapolis, the pursuit ends. Not in a dramatic PIT maneuver, not in a crash. The bus simply runs out of options. The tires are gone. Officers get ahead of it and box it in. The bus can no longer move. And Chad Murdock, who 1 hour ago saw an unattended school bus and thought this was somehow a viable path forward, is taken into custody.
Stopped at gunpoint in the field.
Stopped at gunpoint in a field.
The pursuit covered more than 80 miles. It crossed 2 states. It involved over a dozen law enforcement agencies. It lasted 50 minutes. It went through multiple cornfields. And it involved a school bus. No students were on board. And that needs to be said clearly, because if children had been on that bus, this is not a funny story at all. The bus was empty. The driver was outside when Murdock took it. That detail is the only reason this footage gets to be what it is.
Go ahead.
Black is Murdock, MURDOCK.
Multiple police vehicles were damaged. Property along the route was damaged. The cornfields took a hit. Chad Murdock faced charges in both Ohio and Indiana: theft of a motor vehicle, criminal recklessness, resisting law enforcement, and additional counts. The Indiana State Police spokesman who briefed the media after the arrest had a job that day that very few human beings have ever had to do. He stood in front of cameras and explained with a straight face that his officers had just spent 50 minutes chasing a stolen school bus from Cincinnati to a cornfield in Shelby County, Indiana.
Damage to a lot of police vehicles, unfortunately. Driver was very intent on trying to get away, and
He did it professionally. The bus driver, who stepped off his bus for a moment, came back to find it gone.
the bus driver was practicing or getting used to a route for a summer classes that he were going to have to drive a route for. That driver was out of the vehicle, but close by when the suspect apparently just jumped in and took off.
He got it back, eventually. It was in a cornfield in Indiana.
Go ahead.
If you want to see what happens when a Florida man builds his own fake police force with 18 vehicles and then uses his own body cam to get himself convicted, that video is right here.